Sound Off. Horry and Georgetown counties, we welcome you back to Sound Off. Again, Sound Off is heard weekly on your favorite radio station. It's always our goal at Sound Off to deal with topics that are relevant to you, the community, and always relevant to our young people. A very special thank you goes out to AVAT Auto Repair, who is a proud supporter of Sound Off, located at 3441 Kates Bay Highway here in Conway. Good morning to Sly, always giving back to the community and doing business with integrity. Again, the Sound Off crew, we're really happy to have as our very special guest, Miss April Garner. April, give it up. You gotta give it up for you. I'm telling you. If you missed the first segment, you missed some nuggets. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do a little recap and move back into it. Nevertheless, my name is Claudine Lance Schofield, the Sound Off crew. Would you please reintroduce yourselves at this time?
Buenos dias, me llamo Janica.
How y'all doing? My name's Tyrell.
And again, we're happy to have as our very special guest, April Garner, who is the Career Resource Center Coordinator at Horry Georgetown Technical College. My friend, good morning to you once again.
Good morning, Sound Off crew.
And the first segment, we talked about the importance of career exploration. But, you know, when I want to talk about, a lot of times, I don't think our young people realize the difference between high school and college. Mm-hmm. So if you would, let's talk about the transition that they need to be aware of and some things that they can do in order to make a smoother transition.
Absolutely. Well, first, high school students or anyone who's thinking about going to college, period, you have to realize that it is a commitment, right, first and foremost. I think since we're on the topic of high school students, of course, when you go to public school, you pretty much have a lot of structure. You know what time you have to be there. You know what class you're going to. You have blocks. You have X. You have Y. You have Z. When you become a college student, you are more independent. There is structure in terms of the academics that are involved, but it's your responsibility to make sure that you get things done. So, your actions are going to be the foundation for everything that happens to you while you're in college and even after you leave college. A part of that transition that is so tough has to do with, for instance, the amount of work that you have to do as it relates to the major that you're studying. A lot of times students take for granted that they actually have to study. They have to set aside time to read what's on the syllabus. They have to set aside time to chart out how they're going to get projects and papers done. And if you don't do that, if you don't carefully plan for those tasks that need to be completed, you definitely will fail. Mm-hmm. So, success starts with careful planning, even from the standpoint of career planning.
That's right.
And we talked earlier in the segment about, researching colleges, researching majors. Making that college transition means that you are comfortable in the choices that you've made, and you're committed to making sure that you get all the work done so that you can be awarded that degree in the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jonica?
Now, this is a personal question because I know personally I am punctuality deficient. Like, I cannot show up on time to save my life. But I have heard from my brother that if you're late too many times, you will be dropped, as in you will fail that class for that year, meaning you'll stay later.
Yes, this is absolutely the truth, okay? Wow. Time management is a very, very big challenge for students, especially because it is up to you to make sure that you're getting up on time, you're getting to class on time, you're attending class, period. It is not a time for you to think, okay, well, I've got a couple of days that I can miss and, I don't have to go to school today or I don't have to go to class today. You miss very important information, lots of knowledge that you could be gaining, stuff that you're going to need for exams and other assignments that you have to complete. And if you know right now that you are, challenged by time management,
yes,
it's time for you to start figuring out how you're going to conquer that.
Absolutely.
That type of a challenge will also translate into a weakness whenever you're trying to become employed. So, start by maybe figuring out, okay, well, what's going to make me be on time? Is it setting my clock 30 minutes or an hour earlier? Is it mapping out my day the night before so that I know everything that I have to do? Is it understanding what tasks have to be done by the end of the month so that I can plan accordingly and get a little bit done each day? Mm-hmm. Quite a transition, and that's the kind of thought process that you have to put into the college experience when it comes to your academics. From the standpoint of other challenges that are presented. Of course, if you're late to class, just like you said before, you're right. You could very well be dropped from class for missing too many days, or some professors will count tardies as absences after a while, and so you don't want that to affect your academic path. And of course, it could also affect your ability to get financial aid. So everything is connected. You remember we talked about connections and networking? Everything is connected. So, you got to try to find a way to overcome that challenge.
Do I at least get my money back if I drop from I feel like that's an important thing.
If you don't make it, get your money back?
I mean, because I'll probably miss the first 3 days, class.
Okay. Don't set yourself up for failure already. Yeah, there's power in the tongue, so you don't want to speak that into existence.
Right.
What you want to do is understand ahead of time, like I said before, what the commitment is. And that's why you have the opportunity to schedule your own classes. If you know what your learning style is, you understand that you're better as an afternoon person versus a morning person, then don't schedule your classes in the morning. Schedule your classes in the afternoon, for instance. You'll have that opportunity or that option to set your own schedules. That's what the independence is all about as well, is making sure that you've mapped out your day in a way that works for you. And that's going to make the college experience more successful for you.
So no money back.
No money back if you, exactly. If you there are certain deadlines that you have to adhere to. There's withdrawal periods and things like that. Of course, if you miss certain deadlines, you're right. You won't be refunded any money. It's a loss.
That hurt my heart.
That's life.
That's life. Yeah, it's a loss.
Okay, so Terrell, I know you just a recent high school grad, and now, of course, you're in college. So let's talk about, can you share with us how difficult the transition has been for you?
I mean, it's been pretty awkward and weird to get used to this college life because, first of all, you're on your own. Like, mama, daddy, nobody there for you, so you gotta wake yourself up in the morning and get yourself, situated for school. Make sure you got clean clothes. Look, that laundry room ain't no joke. Like, people be in there all night. And another thing, I miss somebody cooking for me because all I have is Pop-Tarts and ramen noodles, and it's not good.
That's only college life.
It's pretty difficult. But as far as classes, knowing when to leave from your dorm, if you stay on dorm, like knowing when to leave from your room or leave from your house, wherever you stay at, and using that, like she said, time management for your advantage to get to school on class, Jonica. You need to set your alarm 30 minutes earlier just so you can get an extra step just in case there's traffic on the way there or somebody might have gotten a wreck or this building might be closed, so you might have to walk around and all the other jazz. So yeah, I mean, as for overall, it's pretty difficult.
An hour, 30 minutes won't do. An hour.
Well, at least you know what it's going to take.
Knowing is half the
Because you
battle.
won't get your money back.
And my school is 7 minutes down the road. I'm almost late there. So,
Well, now that Terrell talked about the transition, what I want to talk about now, April, is I just had someone this week, a student, say to me, "Well, Miss Schofield, my parents don't have money. So does that mean I can't go to college?" So let's talk about the financial aid piece just for a little bit.
Absolutely. Like we said before, the financial aid piece is a very serious piece, and a lot of students are facing the fact that they probably will have to bear most of the debt. Parents have fewer and fewer means of helping to pay for college. It's becoming a lot tougher to get money for college, so that's why we, press the fact that you have to start early. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we encourage students to do, and we mentioned it before, is to complete the free application for federal student aid, or what we call the FAFSA. This particular federal document will determine how much you can receive in Pell Grants. I don't know if students really understand the difference between grants and loans, but I'm sure that everyone has heard all of the talk in the media about what's going on with student loan debt. And the reality is that a lot of graduates are walking away with triple the debt and than they need, and the jobs are not really paying them enough to sustain a house payment, a car payment, and also a student loan payment. So, that's why it's good for you to search out the possibilities. Start with the FAFSA. You can apply early, start as early as January if you can. And, no later than April the 1st in order to maximize the amount of money that you can get. A Pell Grant, and you'll probably see these types of terms on your financial aid award letters. Pell Grants are monies that you do not have to pay back after you graduate from college. However, there are loan packages, there's different types of loan packages that have to be paid back, and you usually have to start paying these loans back 6 months after you cease to be a full-time student. So you have to be mindful of how much it is you're borrowing and when this money has to be paid back. Also, in terms of scholarships and other options that are out there, you can definitely check with the school to see if they're offering any type of foundational scholarships based upon different factors, whether it's your grades or your involvement in school. That's why it's important to be involved in clubs and organizations, because that could translate into scholarship dollars. Once you're in school, you can actually apply for the work study program, which is a program that allows you to work while you're in school. It actually works around your school schedule, so that gives you the flexibility that you need in terms of having a job while you're in school. Other things such as life and hope scholarships, those are terms that you will definitely see on your financial aid award letters, are merit-based. And so, for instance, if you have a 3.0, you can be awarded the life scholarship if you, have that great GPA and you're a South Carolina resident. And for a lot of students, that can mean the difference between being able to get a college education and not. 3.0 gets you, for instance, at Horry Georgetown Tech, you can go to school for free. Paid in full. And then, once you transfer to a four-year university, you're looking at reduced costs for completing a bachelor's degree program. So there are lots of options out there. There's internships and different types of programs that will offer you paid or a little bit of a stipend for working, and that's something that you should seek anyway, because it gives you that necessary on-the-job experience. You can transfer those skills to other areas, and especially if you have internships that are within your major, that's a great resume builder. So, check with your guidance counselors if you're in high school and find out what options are out there, what scholarships are being given from even community organizations, and also, dig deeper into those financial aid offices at the colleges that you're interested in to see what types of packages they're willing to offer you based upon your grades and also your involvement in school.
Okay. And one thing I know we emphasize is the scholarships are available, but a lot of times our young people don't want to put the work in, doing the essays and get the letters of recommendation. Yes. So can you just talk a little bit about the importance of, if you don't want to get the student loans, which, we could talk about later, some would be forgiven based on the majors, but let's talk about the importance of just doing the work for scholarships.
Yeah, it's all hard work. It's not going to be easy to chart your path as far as college is concerned. So if you already know that you have that financial challenge, start as soon as you can and actually do the research, dig deep and find out what's out there. If you are faced with an essay, for instance, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to compete for a particular scholarship, get with your guidance counselor, get with your English teachers, find out what the prompt is or the topic is, and start drafting as soon as possible. The deadlines are very real, and you have to remember that there are hundreds or thousands of students who are competing for the very same scholarships. Basically, college is not free, and nobody's going to just hand you money to go. Not all of us are lucky enough to be sitting on trust funds and things of that nature. So, you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to be committed to that process first before you actually commit to, going to any college or university.
Okay. And, when we come back, I want to talk about, a lot of parents will tell you, well, I really don't understand that FAFSA stuff you're talking about. So I know at Horry Georgetown Technical College, you do workshops all the time.
Yes.
So maybe we could touch a little bit on, parents getting involved and understanding how to fill those forms out, because for a lot of people, it is a little threatening.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk about that. Again, Horry and Georgetown counties, you're listening to Sound Off. Our very special guest is April Garner, who is the Career Resource Center Coordinator at Horry Georgetown Technical College. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Sound Off.